Remember, people that have common sense, Forex means foreign exchange, meaning that I have never touched currencies all year. I've only been on US 30 all year. Only on US 30 all year. So if you are a currency trader type currency, if you're a US 30 trader type US 30, I'm trying to see like what's the network of people that I have in here like right now. You know what I'm saying? Are you 30 or alright, put 30 or FX. 30 for US 30 and FX for currencies. I want to see. US 30, US 30. Okay, US 30, FX. Okay, this is overall indexes. I tried US 30 and I didn't get it. So I'm gonna tell you guys. Hold on, let me put on this thing real quick. I'm gonna tell you guys how to actually be able to scale up your knowledge to even be able to trade US 30, right? I try to be so upfront with everybody on here because at the same time, like, you know, someone's right. Okay. All right, so can you hear me? Okay, good. All right, so it's like this. People that are brand new to trading, right? People that are like brand new to trading, right? This is how I got, and those that are note takers, definitely take like your notepad, get a pen. I'm trying to give you the breakdown as to like how I came into trading US 30, not what it took to trade US 30. All right, so if you have your pens ready and your notepad ready, type I'm ready. Type I'm ready. Because I'm going to give you the entire breakdown as to like what you have to do to actually build up your skill enough to be able to trade US 30 like how I trade US 30 like every day. All right. Say type I'm ready so I could actually give you guys a full breakdown. Take out your notepads, that kind of shit. But at the same time, you know, you got to make sure that you're catching everything that I'm actually going over. I'm not too sure if I'm going to save it live or not. Put it to my IGTV. Okay. Okay. So people. All right, so the biggest thing is this. It doesn't matter if you've been trading since 2014 or 2015 or 2016, that kind of stuff. The time that you've been trading does not matter. Why? Because you could have been studying the wrong shit for the past 4 or 5 years. You get it? So no, a person saying that they've been trading 4 or 5 years or so, that means nothing. That means zip. Why? Because you could have been studying the wrong thing for 4 or 5 years. Okay, so that's like one way on how you can actually analyze where you are as far as knowledge and skill wise. Because if you've been studying the wrong thing for 4 to 5 years, then you're technically still an amateur. You get me? So a person saying that, oh, I've been trading for so and so years, that's irrelevant because you could have been studying the wrong shit for 4 or 5 years. It means zip. Okay, so if you've been studying and actually making progress as far as like with your level of anticipation and that kind of stuff for 4 or 5 years and seeing growth in your level of drawdown and that kind of stuff, that's different because that shows growth in your skill. Okay, so now when you first start trading, right, I feel like it's very important that you gotta understand these key aspects of things. All right, so make sure that you take your notes also because this is going to be very, very important so you can actually understand what it takes to reach the level of competence like that I've actually achieved over the past years. Okay, so these are all the key things that you have to, I feel like you have to be super sufficient at. Okay, key things. All right, so the first thing, you have to be sufficient at your candlestick analysis. Okay, that's one thing. What I mean by that is this. You have to be sufficient enough at candlestick analysis because when you're on the charts, you don't know what kind of candlestick that you're going to get, but you have to be able to analyze it so you could actually understand what that candlestick is telling you, what it means, what it's actually giving you hints to actually what's to come, all of that stuff. So you have to be able to understand each and every part of that candlestick. What a long wick means, like what a short wick means, like what a small body means, what a big body means, like where is there momentum inside that candle still? Like you got to be able to be sufficient at all of those things just for that one aspect. This is just the first part. This is just the first part. So you have to be sufficient at your candlestick analysis to be able to hop in the market at any time and understand where you are inside the market and understand what the market is actually showing you and what is to be expected based off of what is actually being shown at that point in time, right? That's just like one aspect of this entire list that I'm going to be talking about, okay? So you have to understand I call it candlestick anatomy. You have to be able to understand every little part of it, okay? So it doesn't matter what time of the day that you get inside the chart, you could actually be sufficient enough to analyze where the market is actually at that point in time, right? So there's no perfect time to analyze. There's no wrong time to analyze. But once you get on it, you are pretty much catching up with where the market is, and you're able to actually follow through with, where you are, and you can just catch up, okay? So there's never a wrong time to analyze, there's never a right time to analyze. All that matters is that you're analyzing and then you're catching up based off of what is currently being shown, okay? That was the first thing, okay? The second thing, you have to be able to understand your, let's say, pattern recognition, right? This is just number 2. Pattern recognition means that I don't like to, go too much in names and whatnot, right? But you got to pretty much understand, like, when you have 2 types of candles, right? That equals a pattern a lot of times. Those patterns can give you a lot of details as far as, is there more volume in one side of the market? Is there less volume? Is this going to be a start of a counter trend? Is going to be the start of a main trend? Is going to be the ending of a trend? All of those things matter, but at the same time, you have to be able to understand each and every pattern. If it's just a major pattern, which could be considered as a head and shoulder pattern, a ascending triangle, descending triangle, a symmetrical triangle, all those stuff are just patterns that form in the overall market itself that has to be understood if it actually does come about. So it's not as if every single time you get on the chart, you're looking for a pattern, because it's not always the case. But if it does come about, you got to be able to actually be able to understand it and be able to base what is possible based off of that pattern being a part of your analysis, okay? Next thing is time frame correlation. So time frame correlation. Time frame correlation is another aspect of everything that you have to be sufficient at. Remember, all these things that I'm listing is just to make you understand all these aspects that I'm sufficient in, right? Meaning that I could trade US30 at any time of day and pretty much analyze at any time of day to actually understand where I am and be able to fucking make money and be able to make the money that I want to make. Because if you're not sufficient at all these things, you're not going to be that trader that you think that you're going to be. I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? If any of these things that I'm listing, remember, and those people that are late,